Say, top of the evening to you. I want to welcome you to another edition of the War Zone. I got my man in the building, Donovan Sadiq, the Queen Demetra K, and I am the five-star general. You know, when we don't start off with the music, I'm in the field. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But I want to start it off by saying I got woke up this morning in Minneapolis. They tried to do a sneak attack on the people over at the George Floyd Square that had the streets blocked off, and they came in with their bulldozers and they started moving pillars and all that. But here's the catch: the people that did it were a local group that had been working with the protesters, but on the slick had been working with the city. So their own people, basically, what they're saying is their own people sold them out, and now you have a standstill because the community put up some more barriers. They made them some barriers with some mattresses and different things, and they're not gonna open that square. And the city is adamant about doing it. I think it's they at the crossroads right now in Minneapolis, man. Donovan, what's going on, my friend?
Oh my goodness, you guys, welcome to the Thursday edition of the War Zone. Please forgive me and my co-host, as it is kind of somber as we continue to give you guys the news and tell you what is going on. I'm very somber today because, as you guys have heard, and maybe you haven't heard, Joe Biden met with the Congressional Black Congress, and he basically told them, don't get your hopes up on that reparations bill or anything of that nature. So let me just quote this directly from an article from Yahoo. He said basically, as a candidate, Biden said he supported a commission on reparations, but the administration has yet to endorse the actual bill. After his speech Tuesday, the president met with the members of the Congressional Black Congress, who brought up the need for H.R. 40, which is named for the 40 acres and a mule promise that now symbolizes the lack of black support formerly enslaved black people received from the federal government. According to those involved in the conversation, Biden let them down gently. He didn't disagree with what we're saying, said Representative Brenda Lawrence, the second vice chair of the CBC. He did talk about his plate being full. Once again, black people being pushed to the back of the line for other issues and other people's stuff. Full with trying to get the infrastructure bill passed, which is going to benefit white people, Hispanics, and everybody else, and that he really wanted to make sure that he could get that through before he took on anything else. Isn't that something? We give him the White House, and he gives us no Vaseline.
Hello, everybody. How are you this Thursday? As you guys know, today is Thursday, and we will usually have Walter on here, but Walter is traveling through the friendly skies. He actually just left here, so he's going back to California. And so we're not going to talk about money, I don't think, today. I guess we're going to have sort of like an open Thursday type of thing. But behind the scenes, we talked about wanting to talk about, I guess, Joe Biden and his lack of doing anything for black people at all. And just, I don't know. I'm almost to the point to where I'm just tired of talking about it. And, I was on a post today. Where somebody basically said Joe Biden and Obama didn't do anything for black people or something like that. And I wasn't surprised, but a lot of people came to the defense. They put on their cape for Obama, and it was Negroes. I want to call them something else, but I'm going to be nice and call them Negroes. Same old. Obama couldn't just do anything for black people. Oh, they shut him down. They wouldn't let him do this. And I'm like, all right, we've already debunked that a million times, but why do you guys keep it on, as black people want to continue giving Joe Biden the pass? I mean, lately, he went to Tulsa and didn't do anything, didn't say anything, and yet
didn't bring a check.
Yeah, well, and you're still not convinced that he is not going to help black people? How much y'all want to bet? I bet $1 to a donut. Somebody gonna get on here and say, well, what about Trump? What about the Republicans? You know, and just so I guess the question we really should be having is, do we continue trying to convince those people, or do we continue talking to the people who are listening to say, hey, for the next election that we are participating in, we hold the vote until further notice? What do you guys think? Hold the vote until. I got my daughter's Nightmare on Elm Street shirt on. I think that's where I propose for today.
I think we need to hold our vote. I mean, it's common sense at this point. But I think that black folk need to ask themselves one question, because I don't even want to speak on this subject too much. I done spoke on it, and I ain't finna keep going back to it, because it's just what it is. When you gonna stop letting that white boy treat you like a nickel?
That was just a moment of silence, because it was, I don't know if it was a rhetorical question or we really want answers, but you know, I mean, we as black people are never going to demand that he stops treating us like that, because we, and when I say we, I mean the collective, we like it. We like symbolism. We like to feel good. We don't want anything of substance. We just want to know that, you know, Joe is blowing smoke up our asses, you know, because that way we know he's still paying attention to us. He doesn't actually have to do anything. You know, we love that he went to Tulsa. He did a little soft shoe, and, you know, he talked about the brown people. He talked about the Asian people. He talked about people of color. I don't even know who that is, but he talked about that in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where black people were harmed. There wasn't no Mexicans there. Wasn't no Asians there in 1921 when this was going on, but he went there and gave y'all who voted for him, and Sheila Jackson Lee and all the other Congress people that was cutting the rug. He went and gave y'all an All Lives Matter speech. But let one of these white people or somebody else say, all lives matter. Y'all gonna eat their lunch. You're gonna try to. But Joe Biden goes to Tulsa and gives an all lives matter speech, and y'all are speechless. Y'all ain't up in arms. Y'all are more mad that Trump wanted to go to Tulsa on the anniversary last year. Y'all remember when Trump was going last year? Oh, how could he? Oh, how dare he? But Biden went and talked about everybody else but black people, and y'all are quiet as a church house mouse. Y'all ain't got nothing to say, but I guarantee you somebody gonna bring a black ass in this comment section and be more mad at us than they are for Joe Biden for not saying anything of substance or even saying he was gonna do anything. Watch.
Well, you know what? I think we just need to admit it, that we preached this sermon before the election. We told you what this dude was gonna do. Y'all didn't give a damn. You went right out there. We gotta get rid of Trump, and we gotta do this. Sometimes it's okay to deal with the evil that you know. At least you knew where you stood. This sucker here, he on something totally different, man. And the thing is you can't be mad at nobody but yourself, because I see all of y'all on there now saying hold the vote. But I remember all of y'all saying you were gonna vote for him. But we told you what was gonna happen. Okay, this man ain't even in the 200 days into his term, and we at the bottom of the barrel. We garbage. So y'all gonna do it again? A whole bunch of y'all on here gonna go right back and vote for him. They gonna demonize the Republicans, and you gonna go right back and vote for this clown. So me, I really don't feel sorry for the ones that feel slighted at this moment. And you can always tell the ones that feel slighted because they have so much to say about what he's not doing. But guess what? He hadn't did it for 40 years. So what made you think he was going to do it in his first 200 days?
Well, how?
I just sent Walter a link. His flight is delayed, so if you see him pop up.
You know, it's amazing that you say that, because as we are running out of time, it's almost like we all know, we've been telling you guys, we have less than 9 years to get this shit together and get our agenda done, get something for Black people, or our vote means nothing anymore. Just like Biden told those Black folks, y'all need to get behind these Mexicans over here, these Hispanics, and take orders from them, because you guys are going to be basically irrelevant. That's why I don't have to do nothing for it. It's almost like he's trying to run out the clock. If you played like sports, football, basketball, whatever, you just try, you're ahead, so you run out the clock, and then, basically the other team can't do anything for themselves. And that's what it's almost like. And yet you've got all these shows out here basically saying, hey, wake up. This is what's going on. This is what's going on. And, it's just so embarrassing. Please, 5-Star, tell me what other congressional group that group together go to an event and start jigging and dancing. I have yet to see Nancy Pelosi do it. I have yet to see, this is supposed to be our political class and our political leadership. I'm not saying they're not supposed to dance, but there's a time and a place. I don't want to see a 4-star general dancing in the field against our enemy. I don't want to see it. So, wow.
Are you on the plane, Walter?
I'm not on the plane. They keep delaying this thing. This is insane.
Sorry.
You must be Flying Spirit.
Okay, you know better than that. But actually, I would. Maybe I would have been there on time.
I know you better put your mask on in that damn airport.
Well, I'm vaccinated, and I'm standing in the corner. They ain't messing with me. I got my angry Black man face on.
All right. So, Gary, what was you saying? Sorry about that.
Man, let me tell you something, man. I don't give a damn how Joe Biden do these people. They wanted him. Now deal with your devil of choice.
Yeah, pretty much. So, Walter, what time is your flight? Your flight leave, actually?
I don't know. It's supposed to be gone an hour ago. So
it's this Houston weather. He's trying to get out of Houston, but the weather's pretty bad. I guess that's why they won't. So basically, we're just having a conversation, really in general. And we kind of started off talking about Joe Biden going to Tulsa and not delivering any results, like we didn't think he would. But
yeah, no, that's a good subject. Keep it moving.
Mm-hmm. So what's your ideology on that?
I knew what he was gonna do. He gonna do it. We gonna do what they always do. He's made it clear, as maybe we have, that you don't have to give us nothing in return. So they could go there and say, "Oh, this is for Tulsa," but then end up talking about gay rights. So it's the same old thing. It's gonna stay that way until we do something a little bit different. So, like I said, it's the money. The agents got their own bill because they got cash where people can see it. So when we get to that point, we'll get a bill. And in the meantime, we just need to start buying our own acres, buying our own stuff. That's it. You guys saw Joe Biden. He went down to Tulsa to the point of the massacre, which was only one of 50, and did his Jimmy Jackin, Jimmy Crack Corn thing. Same old thing you always do. And then that was the end of it. And then he ended with the Asians and the gays. Nothing wrong with neither one of those people, but they ain't got nothing to do with Tulsa. What does Tulsa got to do with the Asian hate bill?
Well, isn't it crazy that he goes over there and talks about how racist this country was and what a massacre it was, and how what if the Black people hadn't been massacred, how much wealth they would have, and all this other stuff, right? Now, think about the speech. Everything he said just about in that speech is justification to give a group reparations. And yet, can't do nothing for you.
No.
But where I'm confused at is him to even speak on that. And wasn't he one of the ones throughout his 40 years that helped oppress us? That stopped us from doing what we needed to do?
Yes.
Man, and our people see they can tell us shit on yourself in the middle of the freeway. Just get out your car and just start shitting on the freeway. We're gonna do whatever they tell us. They told you to run to the polls and vote for a Dixiecrat, and you went there and voted for quote unquote a Burning Cross Klan member and thought you were gonna get something out the deal. You got exactly what you voted for, man.
Well,
False sense, the best sense. False sense
He
is the best sense because some days you got to pay for what you learn.
he said he wasn't doing reparations. I remember him saying, it wasn't my family. I wasn't around for that. It wasn't me. Like, Joe Biden is a bitch. But it's funny. It's like your man come home and he slapped the shit out of you. And every day your man come home, you know he gonna slap the shit out of you. And you be waiting at home with a grin on your face. I'll turn the other cheek. How many cheeks do black people have? I mean, god damn.
We're the cat of cheeks. Like cats have 9 lives. I guess we have 9 cheeks. I don't know.
Man, y'all got the Muslim FOI, left feast 200 times. How many times can you turn your cheek before you stab somebody?
Well, let me ask y'all this. Joe Biden also said in that speech, he says, young black entrepreneurs are just as capable of succeeding given the chances as white entrepreneurs are, but they don't have lawyers, they don't have accountants. What do y'all think about that? Do y'all think that was low-key racist?
I believe I believe when the motherfucker say hello is racist, because he's disingenuous. He doesn't mean anything he says towards us. And I don't want to hear nothing Joe Biden got to say. If that motherfucker, I hope that dementia hurry up and kick in, man. Go on about your fucking business. Forget what he need to do is forget how to talk. If he forgets how to talk, we ain't got to hear that bullshit no more.
Right. Well, I mean, this ain't gonna change. It's only gonna get worse. I say this every week, almost. It's gonna get worse. But now we get to see it. With Tulsa and all they went through, we get to see it, but we get to deal with the economics of it. I mean, like, and the crazy part is, all the shows, CNN, everybody, they keep talking about it. It's the same conversation. You know what I don't hear them saying? Is Negroes, put your money away. We're not giving you your 40 acres. We're going to stand on Tulsa ground and we're going to say all the shit we did wrong to you, but they ain't going to say, hey, we're going to pay you back. You cannot tie a hand behind a man's back, start the race 8 hours ago and tell him to catch up. He ain't going to never catch up. And so, yeah, what he's saying is a black man can start a business, blah, 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 but we ain't going to never catch him. Here's what I want you guys to do. Imagine 4 million people with 40 acres to grow their own fuel, their food, land, water, to do what they want to do without the white man showing up, burning shit down, fucking with them. 4 million people, 4 million black people that went through the whippings and all the bullshit with 40 acres to be left alone with the skills black people have. Can you imagine what this place would look like? Like, that's what we need to be. But until we as black people get angry about that, we ain't gonna be shit. Because I tell you what, we ain't never getting the 40 acres. We're gonna have to buy it back. Matter of fact, before I called in, I was on the phone with somebody from the war zone. We talking about buying acres, buying spots. It's the only way we're gonna get it back. When you own land and property, people treat you differently. Hey, bitch, this is my land. You gotta walk through. You know what I'm saying? This is mine. That raises self-esteem, and people, they treat you differently. Right? With me, me and D went and looked at this place on the lake we bought. People treat you differently when you own it. I never had so many white people kiss my ass in one day. I sat in these white folks' house. I'm buying their house for 2.5, 3 hours, sat there and kicked it with them. They didn't say nothing about my color. All they care about is the cash.
No, absolutely. And yeah, to your point, that's what we were looking at. Actually went and bought a lake property. You know, I'm sure Walter just said that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just think we should get about the business of trying to acquire things, land, saving money, building Black businesses, because at the end of the day, that property is going to be a Black owned business. It's going to turn into a Black business, and it's going to hire Black people, and so that's what we need to be doing. We need to be thinking along those lines until further notice.
And you guys, the crazy part is, it's so easy to do. And I know we pulled up in the neighborhood. My sister, she's still on that, look over your shoulder shit. I get it. You got to be careful. But I'm telling you, when you come up and you own shit, they treat you differently. Because, and a lot of, to be fair to a lot of the people, they didn't have anything to do with it. I got a lot of white friends, and they're like, fucking, what can we do? And it's nothing they can do. It's not their issue. You know what I'm saying? It's not their problem. A Black man snatched your purse 200 years ago. It's not my problem to fix, right? But if my government is overseeing your people and they're benefiting from it, it's their job to fix it.
Well, I will say this. So yeah, directly, it's not the white people. The white people, it's not their fault. Now, what went on with our ancestors, however, they still benefit from what their ancestors did. They still,
all day.
Oh yeah. So, and we still have systemic and institutional racism. And every time they do a poll of, asking people, do y'all think that Black people in America should get reparations? About 80% of white people say no. So,
okay.
I guess the point that I'm making is, so they didn't have anything directly to do with it, but they still don't feel like, and those would be the same people out of their mouth saying all those wrong would happen to Black people in slavery, but they say, well, I don't think they should get reparations. Well, y'all still getting benefiting from what your ancestors did to Black people. So how do you see one side, but then you don't see the other?
Well, I mean, they still white, number one. And they still, nobody wants to give up what they got, period, right? And all over the world, if you go anywhere in the world that you travel, they all say the same damn thing. The white man showed up with the guns. And that's it. That was the end of it.
And they still showing up with the guns.
Yeah, right now, last night I was, up till 2 a.m., 3 a.m. doing a podcast, and CNN still talking about the same old thing. They're trying to get what is it? For the not the massacre, just June 6th.
The insurrection.
Insurrection. I'm like, y'all don't need to do an inquiry on that. They showed up, they acted fool, locked their asses up. But as Johnson's words, the Democrats are looking for a way to keep this man out of office. Because they know they're not doing right. If the Democrats are doing right by Black people, Donald Trump wouldn't be an issue for them. He wouldn't be a problem. But when Donald Trump brings his crazy ass back, I guarantee you they're sitting there working on his agenda. We did wrong by Black people. We going after them hot and heavy. I guarantee you, he come back, he's going to be after the Black man. Watch. Because they're business people. They care about the cash. You really think they care about us? They care about their family and their legacy. So that's what they worried about.
Trump said he was coming back in August. By August, he'd be back in office.
Okay, he ain't gonna be back in office, but he will be back. And they're afraid. And that's a whole nother conversation. But you guys, here's the deal. God, I sound like Joe. God damn it. Did I just say here's the deal? Okay.
Yes, you did.
I'm turning into Joe. I'm forgetting everything. No. So we need to just be responsible. My phone conversations these days with most people that are listening to this that I talk to and people around me, we talk about money. Right? I got a call from you, Gary, at 1 a.m. That money truly never sleeps. Right? So I don't care what time it is in the morning. You wake up, you can do money. That's what I love about money is you can wake up at 4 a.m. and talk about money. Yo, why don't we do this? Hey man, Bitcoin's trading, da 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 da. All these cryptocurrencies are trading. They trade 24 hours a day. We can make moves. I just hung up with the lady from the war zone. Stacy, she's watching this show, I'm sure. And I ain't gonna put all her business out, but I know that when she started watching us, it was one thing, and now it's another, and they're way on the other side of wealth. And she texted me about stock options and making moves, and I gotta go do my research. I'm like, she put my black ass to work. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, now all of a sudden, I'm doing research. But that when we all get like that, there will be no stopping us. So y'all choose how you want the next 100 years to be. Do you want to be slaves again? Or do you want to be like, oh, we all pitched in, we bought this property. We all pitched in and we bought this lake house. We all pitched in and we went down to Dallas and we bought a piece of land or whatever it is. I don't care. Buy a shoe store. Just own something. And so, Gary, I know you're running for the school board. I really think what those kids need to hear in their parents, who are really, at the end of the day, their guardians, is fuck all that stuff y'all learning in school. Y'all ain't gonna get shit from this school. What we're gonna do is teach you how to take care of yourself.
Well, Walter, let me ask you a question.
Well, if I preach that sermon, I ain't gonna get voted in because it's a bunch
Well,
of
you got to do a
Negroes don't want to
bulwark.
hear that.
Well, so then what's the point of running if it's gonna be the status quo? You know what I'm saying? Somebody got to punch him in the face.
The point of running is I ain't the average nigga. I ain't gonna put up with a lot of shit that go on in there. That's why I'm running. They ain't gonna try that shit with me in there.
Right. I know it's so hard. Somebody's got to bite the bullet. Maybe you get in and then you start shooting. But like, our kids are ruined. Man, you try and talk to a 20-year-old black kid today. Do you know how complicated that is? I'm like, fix your attitude. What is your problem? I'm giving you a chance. You got an attitude? Like, what am I missing here? So I don't know. We better do something quick. It freaks me out that our kids are responsible. When I'm 75, our kids will be in power. It scares the shit out of me. Seriously.
I didn't realize that. Okay, so it's just me and you.
We got Donovan.
I guess so, but yeah.
The cat's cut his cord.
Maybe the cat's got his cords. No, but yeah. So I think you make a good point in about teaching the children really how to get to the money. And just really stuff they can use. I mean, sure, they can use reading, writing, and arithmetic, as they say, but they can also use financial literacy and all of those other things. Our children shouldn't be hearing, and Gary, you can speak about that better than I can, but our children shouldn't be hearing about financial literacy when they get to college, because that's when most kids end up getting debt. Because one of the first people they see when they get on to college for orientation day is who? The credit card people.
Amex be on the spot.
Yeah, they be right there signing
orientation.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So what you think about that, Gary?
That's a legislative issue when it comes to curriculum. It would be great if we could, but they don't. Let me tell you something. Entrepreneurship is not what these school districts want to push. They push college readiness. They push you to go and get your diploma so you can go to the next level so that you can work for the machine. We got to get them not to buy into that. But I mean, there has to be jobs for them when they're teenagers so they can learn how to make their money. See, when you learn how to make money, kids seem to figure it out real fast, because when they make money, they don't just blow through it. Some of them just don't blow through it because they figured out how hard they got to work to get it. So, I wish the school system would allow it, but that's a legislative issue.
Yeah, and we know how long legislative issues take. It takes forever. I mean, this is my opinion, but I'll give you an idea. My Uber driver on the way here, 25-year-old 25-year-old Spanish girl, right? She's from El Salvador. And I asked, I said, where'd you go to school? And she looked at me crazy. She goes, my parents owned a business in El Salvador. I own a business here. I own an international money transfer business. I'm 25. I Uber. I have all these businesses that I do. She basically told me, fuck school. You know what my school was? Watching my parents run their store in El Salvador. That was my school. And as I'm Ubering you to the airport, I have employees running my business. 25 years old. She didn't say shit about school. So the legislative is not interested. They're not interested in this subject because they're too busy getting paid. They're getting sucked up. But what if we could say, you know what? Okay, we're going to leave the school system the way it is, but we're going to grab our kids in addition to the school system and teach them something. Like,
Well,
if I
we
was,
need to teach them. We need to teach them. We need to teach them the basics because they need the basics. So I wouldn't tell a kid to say fuck school because they need the basics. And a lot of these kids can't even read and write when they get to the ninth grade. So if they can get the basics under their belt, I can buy into what you're saying.
so no, I understand that. And then if we're talking about now, if we're talking about basic reading and rights, I mean, honestly, you guys, like basic reading and writing and math, you can teach your kids yourself. I mean, Henry Ford, a lot of these world leaders made it to like the third, fourth, fifth grade and was out. So I'd rather deal with a guy with broken English who could get his ass up at 5 a.m. and get the party started working wise and keep a little bit of money after the day is done. And that's what, like in business, we say A students teach, B students work for C students, and the D, the dummy, owns a business because he was stupid enough to start it.
Yeah, but
And think,
Walter, real quick though, but you said at the beginning of the broadcast that if, like in a track race, if somebody's 800 yards ahead of you, you'll never catch up. This is why these people have wealth and they can afford to drop out at fourth grade and go and be successful. You got to remember, the United States in the 19th century was giving Europeans that were coming here free land as long as they can go out there and stake it to the West. So when you've got
yeah,
that kind of advantage, how do we plan to catch up? And that's the thing. You know, we keep saying, you know, I'm not arguing. I'm just saying we keep making
you got a good point.
yeah, we keep making it seem like we just go out there and do it. And that's true. We can do it. But unfortunately, we've got generations now that have been displaced from that attitude. So from where we're at, we have to make moves.
And we make them. Like, we're never going to catch up on the wealth gap. Not the school system is not going to get us close the wealth gap. The school system is widening the wealth gap. You kids go to school, learn that you're niggers, learn about your roots and Christopher Columbus, learn about slavery, learn all the shit. By the time you get out of high school, your self-esteem as a black person is fucked up. Like, don't tell me you graduated high school and your self-esteem is higher than you were when you were 4 years old. I have my neighbors. My neighbor has two 2-year-olds. Their self-esteem is to the roof. Every time I see them, they wave at me. Hi. I said, these kids are in control, but the school system will destroy them. So the school system is not closing the wealth gap. It's us getting on here, buying stock options. You know what I'm saying? We buying Carnival Cruise Line, LUV, Southwest. We buying property. We buying Bitcoin or Ethereum or Shiba Inu, whatever it is. Us buying those things and making those moves is closing the wealth gap. I guarantee you. Right now, I own 6 acres. I'm 34 short of the promise. They are not giving me. Joe Biden and them they're not going to give me the other 34. I got to go out and get it. So I'm asking my people first. I always go to my people first. Help me get the other 34. Let's do it together. Unfortunately, you want to hear what the fucked up part is? If we want to keep this conversation real, y'all ain't gonna get your feelings hurt. You know where the 6 acres came from? I went to black people first. Me and D had this conversation today. My real estate agent in Texas, she's a white lady. In California, she's a white lady. In Denton, I got a white lady. I went to black people 3 or 4 times, and all 4 times they pushed me to the side.
And in all fairness, I sent him most of those black people, and they didn't respond. They just didn't respond, or drop the ball. And because y'all know me, I'm like, let's put the money in the black people's hands. But I'm like, so real estate is going up, and you can't. Real estate don't stay in the market long. So what we supposed to wait for our people to get it together and say, okay, well now I'm ready to do business, or are you gonna go with the person who was trying to help you? So it's like, at some point, we really got to just, meet each other halfway.
Right. Well, let me say this real quick, Walter. Let me say
we need to do it now.
A lot of us, see, we have to stop making excuses, because a lot of us have land and property. We have it. It was given to us by Big Mama. What do we do with that land? We take it and we gentrify ourselves out of a neighborhood to go into debt in some other neighborhood and buy toys and all this other stuff. So what I'm saying is, since Civil War, we've had ancestors that have worked their asses off to get us to this point, to give us an advantage, to at least not struggle like they did. And then what did we do as soon as the wealth came down to us? We tricked it off, and thus we keep making excuses for why we're not successful. I mean, that's where we're at today. I mean, how do what do you think about that, Walter? Because being from California, you see the people out there in South Central that are sitting on $1 million properties and are selling for $200,000 and $300,000 and then moving to Texas.
Well, I'm gonna say something, and as usual, I'm probably gonna get in trouble. One, when it comes to land ownership right now, when I talk to black people with property, it's women. It's grandma. It's the women. And when you ask a woman to make a decision that a black man is supposed to be making, she most likely is going to drop the ball, because the black man is supposed to be making that decision. I talk to so many black women, and they own land and property and houses, and baby, I got to pray on it. No, what she should be doing is walking to the room and saying, hey, baby, you the man. What the fuck should we do with this property? We got an offer on it. Should we sell this house, or should we refinance it and buy the block next door? But we asking black women to make decisions. You know what black women do? They go to the Lord when they should be coming to the Lord of the house, the black man. When we get to that point, this shit will be fixed. Stop asking women to make the decision that the man is supposed to make. My mom didn't. When my father was in the house, she didn't make decisions on her own. She waited for him to get home. Most of her decisions. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's easier said than done. Because when I look at the way that we've gotten to where we are, it amazes me. I mean, we didn't get here overnight.
There you go.
Being demasculated and turning into punks, we didn't get here overnight. We watched this go on. Now, I was one of the ones bucking when I saw it going on. Nah, that ain't right, man. What you doing with that dude there, the way you raising your boys, that ain't right. We sat and we watched them destroy the little bit of school system that we had. When they brought in standardized testing, black people should have been up in arms, because standardized testing never did anything for our kids. What it did is stop the average teacher from being a good teacher. And we allowed this to happen to us. So the thing is, you're right, we will never close the wealth gap, because the thing that we need to just get it rolling, which is a decent education, we can't get to it.
Yes, indeed. But Walter, you said it. You said a thing. You said, as far as black women talk about, let me pray on it. Like you said, you pray to the Lord of the house. The man, providing you got one, right, is the head of the household. He's supposed to be. But I'm just gonna go ahead and say this, okay? Because and I don't know, we might be going off in the left field. I don't know. Y'all tell me. Black women often get a bad rap. We get a bad rap for being too tough, for being too headstrong, for being too this, that, and the other. But it's like, what we supposed to do? Like sit and wait for the man, to make a decision to, do what he's supposed to do. I mean, sometimes we are put in those positions of having to be strong, right? Having to make decisions because it's like, okay, I'm waiting and I'm waiting. How long am I supposed to wait? And then when I go ahead and take initiative, I get called masculine. I get called, oh, was she too strong? She too independent. And it's like when I almost said the N word. I was waiting on you to mow the grass for 3 weeks. I figured out how to mow it. So what was I supposed to do?
And they got vibrators. So really, if the vibrator had hands, a black man would be extinct. I mean, damn.
Well,
It's true too.
I guess I'll climb that
Hey,
mountain.
hanging with Pinky.
I climb that mountain. I'll climb that mountain. It's hard when you're a strong black man and you get with an alpha female. When you walk through the door, you want to be who you are. You want to be a provider. You want to be whatever. You want to be the person that she can come to and she can say, well, you make that decision. But some of these women have been hurt so bad that you don't give my strong ass an opportunity to be as strong as I need to be. You putting a pamp on me when I come through the door as a man, and you're trying to demasculate me from day one. So what does that do? And I use that passion to show y'all something. That means that relationship probably will not work. I've seen it too many times. A lot of these women have been hurt to the core, and they will turn away the man that Walter is talking about because of what they went through in the past. Now, I believe that you shouldn't be with a sorry man. That's how I feel. I also believe that you knew that nigga was sorry when you first started messing with him.
Well, let me say a little bit more to that. I don't care how strong your black woman is or how alpha her personality is. If you come in and take over, most of those strong black women will sit their ass down and let their man lead from the front.
Well, Walter, if you believe that, hang your ass around Texas a little bit longer.
Wait, but you know what? As a woman, okay? Now listen, I want to be careful because Walter and Donovan know me very well, okay? And Gary, I think you've known me, well enough to this point. I am strong, okay? I'm strong, and I guess I could say I'm highly.
You'll curse a person out in a minute, but go ahead.
And I'm highly intelligent, and sometimes that's intimidating to men. So, but to Walter's point, hell, black women, especially women, love when a man, I won't say get aggressive like I slap you out type of thing, a good punch in them. I ain't talking about that kind of stuff. I'm talking about, baby, what I'm gonna need you to do is sit down and be quiet while I do what I gotta do. Okay, baby, do you? And then come do me later. You know what I'm saying?
That was my
really
point.
Can't be mad at the youngsters that's coming up that don't meet the criteria that Walter is talking about, because you mamas is turning them into punks before you get them out the house. You treat them like they little punks before you get them out the house. So once they get out the house, this is what the women got to deal with.
Well, again, we have to deal with this the real way. I know any woman I've ever dated, I don't care who she is, when I'm like, I got it, she steps to the side and get behind me. Let leaders lead from the front. And you don't have to have money to do that. You can date a man that makes less than you. And a lot of women listen to the show, your man make less than you. But there's certain things he can do. I've talked to women, she's like, I make more than my man, but man, when something need to be done around the house, he got it, which means we don't have to spend money on this. Or he does certain things he do, I don't have to deal with. Me going to work and making money ain't nothing. I do it in my sleep. But the fact that he's taking care of everything else, plus he's bringing home money, makes our life stronger. So it doesn't matter what we've been gone through. what we've gone through, we know what to do right now. And when we get, I'm telling you, we get to that point, and it's gonna be little steps. Me and my sister been talking about buying property forever together, and me coming out here for what, 2 years, buying property in Texas. I finally said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna come down here. I'm gonna cut these fools a check. I'm gonna buy this land, and I'm gonna come on this lake with all these white folks and say, I got this. When you see me, have a cigar and some cognac, and start your boat up. Let's take a ride." And you just ultimately, I don't know how this, I do know how it's going to work out, but let's say I didn't. If it didn't work out, what have I gained? Experience that I can use for the next time. Black people, stop praying to the Lord and start praying to yourself. If I'm correct, God created us in his image. So why in the hell we have to go ask somebody that created us in his image what to do? And black people, can I be serious? When's the last time God answered your prayer? We all say, oh, he answered my prayer. No, you did the work. Because if you sit your ass at home on the couch and don't move, he don't answer your prayer. He only answers your prayer when you do something about it. So y'all can cut that shit out. Oh, the Lord gave me this house. Hey, did you sign the escrow paperwork? Did you leave the deposit? Did you go to work, get that money, put it to the side for the house? That ain't the Lord, that's you. The Lord created the opportunity. Sure, but you have to pull the trigger.
You sound like Donovan. Donovan, what you always used to say, how people will go to church and talk about, ooh, the Lord. Go ahead, tell us the story.
Oh, man, yes. It's like these people that will go there. Remember when the housing boom and they were giving Negroes houses and you worked at Taco Bell, $500,000 homes? And then, you know, as soon as they get the home, they got approved for the home. You work at Taco Bell. Ooh, yes, Lord, the Lord gave me this house and I'm so blessed. And then 2007, the housing thing crashed, right? They were in church that said, oh, Lord, how did the Lord put me with this thing? Oh, the devil is a lie. I'm stuck here, you know. It's like, wait a minute. You know, a year ago, you said the Lord had blessed you. Now you talk about the Lord has cursed you and all this other stuff. I mean, it's just so damn, it's just a damn shame.
Yes, indeed. I saw a comment up here. It says, Shakila, I hope I said that right. How you doing? He says, I want the man in my life to say, baby, I got it. And I think that's true for most women. Baby, I got it. And I don't necessarily mean anything to do with money, but just, you know, it's hard. And I know black men gonna say the same thing, but it is hard being a black woman in America. Because a lot of times we gotta like do a lot of stuff. And a lot of times it does make us rough around the edges. And y'all know what I'm talking about. Gary, you just alluded to it, how a lot of times, especially black women, have been through a lot of stuff to when a good man or the next man come along, she give him the blues because she automatically just thinks, okay, you gonna do it to me too. So I might as well keep these, you know, my guard up and let you know I ain't finna be playing around with you and I'm a strong, independent black woman. But, you know, it's just conditioning, if you will.
How are you a strong, independent black woman and you're getting child support and you're on the county? Please explain that.
Well, we ain't talking about them, okay? Gary's stupid. We ain't talking about them. That's just delusional, okay? We talking about, and I don't even like the term I'm a strong black woman because that sounds like he woman or something like that. I don't like that term. But I know it gets misapplied to certain women who are just like, listen, I've been having to just handle my business, right? Because I haven't had, or maybe I haven't let a man do those things for me. So I've just been having to handle my business.
Yeah. So, women, you decide, you guys have the power. You hold your man's feet to the fire. Not like put a diaper on him, but like I'm in a relationship, and there's certain things my woman can say or do. I go, okay. Oh, I'm thirsty. I know. Get your black ass up, go downstairs and get some water. Right, men, we need to get better at taking clues. But how cool would it be? And men see, again, you don't have to be financially You don't have to be Superman financially. I just think that you need to be in a position where you can, they see you even trying. I think this would be better. But let's start putting some money away. Until we like, if you took, like, Black people, we are so fired up about cryptocurrency. Sheba, Donovan to the left. Tara, she's talking about Dogecoin. Tara Taylor every day. I think she's a Doge queen. I'm like, if Dogecoin crash, you're gonna be dead. I mean, we're fired up about that. Even Dogecoin, I don't know shit about it, but almost every day I buy Dogecoin. I don't know what's going to happen to it, but I'm learning from the experience. And Black people, if we did that more often, even if all this stuff busted, can you imagine what our self-esteem would be like knowing that we tried and we continue to participate in the game? I mean, until we do that, we ain't gonna be shit. Joe Biden sat up at Tulsa, the massacre site, and disrespected us. Didn't even mention reparations. And I didn't hear a goddamn thing from nobody about it.
And you know the sad thing about that? Okay, you don't want to do reparations. At least give the 3 surviving people a check. Cut them a damn check.
And you know what is not in the media real heavy? Is the whole Tulsa massacre thing. You know, they were going to do Black Wall Street, and then they didn't do it because their descendants wanted, instead of $1 million agreed, they wanted $50 million. So they canceled it. Like, at what point can we agree on something? Like, damn, even that had nothing to do with the white man. That was us saying, no, we want 50 million instead of 1 million that we agreed to last week. Because Ben Crump or one of them fools got in the game and probably changed it. So we're going to disrespect our ancestors even further. Y'all have $2. You agree on 1 million, and now you want 50 million. The day of. Whose fault is that?
Well, yeah, I mean, I did read that where originally it was $1 million for each descendant, and then like I forget how much other money was for some sort of fund. But yeah, then their lawyers came back and said they want 50. But I don't see them having a problem with giving them 50. I think they're at least owed 50. I mean, hell, those people were there.
But that's not the problem, though. Here's the problem I'm making. The people were happy with $1 million. It was the fucking lawyers that came in and changed it. The Ben Crumps and they were going to get most of the money.
Oh, well, if the people were happy, yeah, if the people were happy with it, then that's a different story. And those people are 107 years old.
Okay, I'm in the airport, and I heard this lady speak more Spanish than English. What the fuck is up with that? I don't know if this is my plane or not. It's like Paqueto Pacato. What the fuck? Black people, can we buy an airline already? Anyways, I'm sorry.
We have one. It's called Spirit.
It's crazy. First of all, look behind me. This couldn't be Spirit Airlines. My plane was supposed to leave 2 hours ago. See how calm these people are back here? If this was Spirit, it would be cracking.
All right, okay. I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to talk to you real quick on a aviation level. Okay.
Please do, Donovan, because I know you're the pilot.
Yeah, here it is. Do you want to get there alive, or do you want to get there, or not get there at all? That's what you got to keep telling yourself. If they're stopping, they're stopping.
No, I'm cool, Donovan. I'm cool with it. They got a bar here. I don't have a job. I'm cool. I can stay here till tomorrow. I just wish you told me this earlier.
Yeah, a lot of people get that get home itis thing, and you're not, and they don't understand it. If they do a ground stop on airplanes, there's a serious weather condition out there.
I understand. I was just being funny, but I understand what you're saying. I'd rather get it right and be late. So, but yeah, so do you guys understand what I'm saying? Let's just start by buying something. You guys, take 20% of the money you make and put it somewhere. I promise you will figure out what to do with the other 80. Man, I want so many things. I saw a brother walk past me with a Louis Vuitton bag. It was so cold. He had the bag and the luggage. I go, I want that. And he looked good with that bag. But my subconscious was like, damn, for that Louis bag and that handbag and that luggage, you know what I'm saying? I could have bought 4,000 stock options on Carnival Cruise Line till January or Southwest Airlines. Me and my sister today, we shorted AMC on the way down. She already made money. Sometimes I make a brother mad because I want to participate in that. I got my own money too, but I'm like, we hit that button on AMC. It was at almost $70 because we were watching the TV. So some of y'all watch sports, right? Y'all watching the wrong game. See, in my house, we watch CNBC. So we watching the stock ticker. That's halftime. They had a halftime show, Squawk Box. And so when AMC hit $70 today, I said, D, now pull the trigger. And she handed me the phone. I pushed the button. We bought the stock options. And on my way out before the market was closed, she's like, "Oh, I'm up 50% in 2 hours." You guys, you put $1,000 in something, and 2 hours later, you got $1,500.
Yeah, I did very well on AMC stock. Yes, I did.
Come on, man. You guys have to get in the game. Like, we're not getting reparations. I said this when I first started doing the war zone, and people sent me all kind of hate. We're not getting that shit. He stood on Tulsa and didn't mention a fucking word about it. He's a piece of shit. Sorry. Him and Trump, they should be doing the tango in the street. They're shitty dudes. But that ain't gonna change nothing until we make a change. Does that make sense?
Yeah, just a quick update since the market's closed. This morning, the market was up for AMC 1,100%. It closed at 347%. So, if you didn't sell when it was at a tie point, I mean, you still made money, but there's a big difference between 300 and 1,000.
Yeah, a lot of people made money off of the AMC stocks and some other stuff too. But yeah, I mean, there is no political power for Black people without economic power. It doesn't happen. A vote right now to Black people, say it with me, is nothing more than a wish. It's a hope and it's a wish that they do something for us. We don't have the money to back our votes up. They've been lying to you and you've been believing that you have political power. Every time you move the ball politically, you don't move it for yourself. You move it for everybody else. Everybody else benefits from your vote except for you. Like Walter said, Gary and Donovan, Joe Biden went to Tulsa and like he went to ground zero where Black people lost it all. And he gave an all lives matter speech and nobody had a problem. Well, some people did, but the people who continued to support him, they didn't have a problem with him giving an all lives matter speech right there in Tulsa where, they say hundreds, but it was probably into the thousands of people, died and lost all that property into the billions of dollars of property that was lost, if it was in today's time. But he gave an all lives matter speech and we thinking and when he did talk to us about voting, make sure you get out there and vote. They're trying to suppress your vote. What he was saying to you is, I want y'all to continue voting for oppression. Don't let them suppress the vote because we need y'all to vote for us to continue doing more of nothing for you. So we need to get our money together and then we can say, all right, this is what we want to do with our vote. Now our vote really matters.
Well, my man Pioneer says we can invest in the stock market, but that mug is rigged. So don't put too much confidence in them. We need to form our own financial institutions. What's stopping us from forming our own markets? The same thing that always stops us from forming our own markets. It's white supremacy. They control the regulations. They control the markets. They control whatever it is.
Me by myself.
Out. So you have to be able to buy in.
Walker, mute your mic.
Yeah, so we're going to have to be able to buy in. And, it's just like in this cannabis farm. Right now, if you wanted to sell cannabis legally in the hood, here in my city, You need $25,000 for a non-refundable application. So they can just take your money, deny you, and give it to their boy. So that's what's stopping us from doing a lot of stuff regulation-wise. White supremacy controls the board.
Final thoughts, Mr. Dimitri.
See y'all tomorrow.
Yeah. Hey, let's get together and kill Barney. Get together and make money. Let's buy some shit together. We've been talking about this for months. Put your money up. Let's buy something. Otherwise, shut the fuck up complaining about it. And that's the way it should be. Put some money up. Let's buy something together. If it don't work out, we try it again. Until we do that, we ain't shit. And Joe Biden looked in the camera with his little ass smirk and said, F y'all niggas, we ain't shit. And what did we do? Nothing. But we, in my house, we buy land and invest. In your house, you should do the same. That's my closing thought.
Final thoughts, Donald.
Well, like I said, you guys don't forget to hit that Cash App button. Every little bit counts. We're going to get our candidate into the Houston school district because, you know, regardless of what anybody says, you need a basic education to even understand, even to read the contracts and all that other stuff. So we need people in there that are not just going to pass our students along so that they have no way of competing in whatever. Joe Biden has a lot of issues, a lot of promises that are broken. Again, where's the stimulus? Where are the stimulus checks that are supposed to be on the way? Where are the things, all the stuff that he promised? He's just like, well, I got to put the infrastructure bill in front. The infrastructure bill, rebuilding the middle class, that has to do with his people, because most Black people are not in the middle class. So you guys got to read between the lines of what a politician is saying. And then, we did get something out of the Tulsa celebration. We got our Black leaders cooning and dancing the jig.
I want to tell you thank you for tuning in. And on behalf of Donovan, Demetra, and Five Star, we really appreciate it. My closing thoughts to you, man. Get up and get it, bro. Get up and get it. And in the immortal words of Lil Duval, just live your best life. Just live your best life. Until tomorrow, we'll holler at y'all. And I'll be coming to y'all with updates on this shooting. I'm still sitting out here. Let you know what's going on. So when you see me pop up, it's an update that I'm coming with, special edition of the War Zone. We'll holler at y'all tomorrow, man.